The night she told me I couldn't sleep. Her voice still echoed in my head, soft but trembling. Mark, I've decided. I'm going to do it. First I thought she was joking. But when I saw the way she twisted her hands and couldn't meet my eyes, I knew she was serious. My wife Claire wanted to be a surrogate, for her boss of all people. His wife can't have children, she'd said, like that somehow made it noble. They've been trying for years. I can help them. I stared at her, stunned. Claire, you work for him. You don't owe them that. It's not about owing, she said quickly. It's about doing something meaningful. Meaningful. That word rattled around in my chest. I wanted to believe her, but something about it didn't sit right. I'd met her boss, Richard, a few times. Slick, charming, with a smile that never quite reached his eyes. The kind of man who looked at people like they were pieces on a chessboard. I told her not to do it. Begged her even. Claire, think about what you're risking. The emotional toll alone. But she had already made up her mind. The weeks that followed were a blur of arguments and uneasy silences. She kept saying it was just business. That it was a medical procedure, nothing intimate, nothing to worry about. I tried to believe that. I really did. But then things started changing. She began coming home late from appointments. Her phone buzzed more often. When I'd ask who it was, she'd say it was work stuff. She started dressing differently too. Nicer clothes, more makeup, perfume she'd never worn before. I told myself I was being paranoid, that my jealousy was clouding my judgment. But deep down I knew. One night I couldn't take it anymore. I waited until she fell asleep, then picked up her phone from the nightstand. My hands trembled as I unlocked it. There were messages, hundreds of them, between her and Richard. At first they seemed professional. Updates about the process, doctor visits, medical details. But then they got personal. Too personal. You looked beautiful today. I can't stop thinking about what this means for us. You're carrying my child. I'll make sure you're taken care of forever. My stomach turned. My chest felt like it was being crushed. I scrolled further, unable to stop myself. One message hit harder than the rest. I don't care if he finds out. I want this. I dropped the phone. The sound woke her. Mark, she murmured, groggy. What are you doing? I just stared at her. How long, Claire? Her eyes widened. What are you talking about? Don't lie to me. How long has it been going on? She sat up, her face pale. You looked through my phone. I laughed bitterly. That's what you're worried about. That I looked. Not the fact that you've been sleeping with your boss while pretending this was some kind of charity. Her lip trembled. It's not like that. Then what is it, Claire? Shouted. You expect me to believe this is all some selfless act? That it's about helping them? Tears filled her eyes. It started that way. I swear it did. But then things changed. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. Changed how? She looked down at her hands. He told me his wife couldn't go through with it. That she didn't want to use a surrogate anymore. But the embryo was ready. He asked me if I would still do it for him. I took a step back. So you're telling me? It's his baby, she whispered. The words shattered something inside me. I didn't say another word. I just walked out. I drove aimlessly that night, through streets blurred by rain and tears, replaying every conversation we'd ever had. Every time she'd said she loved me. Every time she'd told me I was overreacting. I kept hearing his voice in those messages, smug and possessive, and I wanted to scream. When I finally came home hours later, she was sitting on the couch, wrapped in a blanket. She looked like a ghost. I didn't mean for it to happen, she said quietly. It wasn't planned. Planned? I repeated. You let another man put a baby inside you, Claire. That's not something that just happens. She broke down crying. He made me feel special. Like I was doing something important. You never understood that. I stared at her, numb. No, I understood. I just didn't realize, important, meant destroying our marriage. The months that followed were hell. She moved out eventually, into a small apartment across town. Her belly grew, and so did the distance between us. People in our circle whispered, but I stopped caring. Then one day Richard's wife showed up at my door. I recognized her from photos. Elegant, composed, but there was something brittle in her eyes. "I'm sorry to bother you," she said softly. "But I thought you should know Richard's gone. He left me." I didn't know what to say. She looked at me, and for the first time I saw the same pain I carried reflected back. "He's living with her now," she said. "With your wife." My wife. The word felt foreign now. I thanked her, though I wasn't sure why. Maybe it was the first time someone else understood what it felt like to be blindsided by the people we trusted most. Few weeks later, Claire called me. Her voice was small. "I had the baby." I didn't respond. "He looks like him," she said. "But I wish he didn't." Something about that broke me all over again. "I hope he treats you better than he treated us," I said and hung up. I haven't spoken to her since. Sometimes late at night I still think about the woman I married. The one who used to laugh at my terrible jokes, who dreamed of having a family with me. I wonder when she disappeared, and how I didn't notice. Maybe betrayal doesn't happen in a single moment. Maybe it seeps in slowly, disguised as good intentions and noble causes, until it's too late to stop. Claire thought she was helping someone. Maybe she even believed it. But in the end she gave everything away. Her body, her heart, our marriage. All for a man who saw her as a means to an end. And me. I learned that love can survive many things. Distance, hardship, even mistakes, but not deceit. The house is quiet now. The photos are gone, the laughter erased. But one thing remains clear. When trust is broken that deeply, there's no going back. There's only the silence left behind, and the slow, painful work of moving on.